And I'm just looking over here.
Well, actually, my phone's in my pocket. Should I?
Yeah, my head's not cut off, right?
Nope. All right, mic test real quick.
Hello? Sorry, it's just... Hello?
Oh, you okay?
You're watching Sterling High School Channel 19, serving Hynella, Laurel Springs, Magnolia, Summerdale, and Stratford.
Good morning and welcome to the Sterling Morning News. Today is Friday, February 25th. I'm Mr. Kozanevsky.
Control units, they do exactly what they are called. They control the cameras out in the studio remotely from in here in the studio. The board that's on the flat part of the console is called the switcher.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sterling Channel 19.
How did you first get involved in tech?
Well, for me, it was a tweet. Mr. K put out a tweet about 4 years ago. We need announcers, and my dad was like, "This is a literal sign that you need to go out and do this." I sent him a Teams message. He said, "Show up at 4 o'clock," and I got on the JV game that day over the COVID season, and the rest is history.
I had photography with Mr. Farr, so I was sort of forced to go to my first game. I ended up really liking what I was doing. Eventually, my friend Jake, he reached out to me and was like, "Hey, you want to come back?" From there, I just kept on going to every single game I could until I got paid, and then it became a job, and then it became my life.
It all started out with a family friend reaching out to my mom. She brought it up to me and was like, "Brian, tech crew, like for Sterling would be a really good thing. I think it would introduce you to some new people." I showed up to the first football game of my freshman year with Andrew Kane and Chris Burdash just welcoming me with open arms. And it pretty much just started all from there.
I first got involved because my dad did it when I was younger, so I would always go to the games and kind of see what he does as an announcer. Then when I became a freshman, he told me I should check it out, and I haven't looked back since.
Ever since I was little, I always wanted to sports announce and be up there with great guys, Mike Emmerich, in the baseball world, Joe Buck. It was always a passion of mine to do that. In tech career, I met an amazing group of guys, but that's how I originally got it.
My friend Brian was in it. I was getting bored after school, so I decided to join.
I first got involved when I walked in for an assignment one day, and I just decided to join from there.
Do you remember the first game you called?
I don't remember much about the game.
First game I remember calling was a soccer game. I remember it being a girls' soccer game 2 years ago.
And welcome to Sterling Girls Soccer as they take on the Haddonfield Bulldogs. I'm Connor Strauss.
I've always liked announcing soccer because that's the sport I know most. I remember announcing it with John Hallwood when he was still here, and I think it was Schultz.
The first game I announced, from my recollection, was a softball game in late April. I think it was my sophomore year.
Hello everybody and welcome to Sterling Channel 19. I'm Brian McLaren, joined by my co-host Kevin Schulz. How you doing, Schulz?
Good. Brian, how are you?
I was comfortable with doing softball and baseball first because I played baseball ever since I was 5. And as I started improving with my color commentating, I was able to go into play-by-play by around my junior year.
Arnett wide open in the corner for 3. It's good! Tie us up, Arnett. It's tied up at 25.
That's pretty much where it started.
The thing that I remember most is Kay talking in my ear through the headset. "Clark, talk a little more. New guy, talk a little more," because he didn't know my name yet. The first half, I felt super nervous, and then in the second half, I kind of felt like I had gotten the hang of things, and that's when I really started to feel more confident and, okay, I can do this, and game by game, I got better.
I would say boys volleyball. I think it was with Jay Clark and Mr. McPherson. It's one of the first ones.
So you're kind of Mr. Do-It-All, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
What's something that goes unnoticed in the job that you do?
Being a producer is tough because You essentially have to be perfect every single time. If you're not getting everything on the mark, everything on the money, and you're not communicating with the team of people you have in that room, it doesn't flow. That's noticeable if you have the eye for it. And if you have the eye for it, you'll see there's mess ups, there's things that shouldn't be there. There's a lot of pre-production that comes to it. Very tedious. The equipment we have is great, but it is a bit slow sometimes. And that means it takes me like an hour or two just to make a graphic. There's things that you want to add, but you didn't have the time to make it. It's a lot.
So what I do is I do replay. So whatever Mr. K needs, I just clip and do a replay of that.
As soon as the play happens, we need to make sure that we're getting that clip and we're getting it at the right angle in about 2-3 seconds so that K has it ready to pull up whenever he needs it.
What's really not talked about is the stuff that happens like right before we go on the air. It's just making sure we can pronounce the names correctly. We usually run through most of the away team's rosters a couple times with all of our announcers to make sure that we can get the names to the best of our ability. It's a lot of preparation, especially in the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Recently, my senior year, I've been doing the stat sheets. I'm trying to elevate our broadcast by adding in things like points per game, rebounds a game, assists per game, how many made shots they've had from 2 or 3. But I'm trying to make it sound a bit more professional for what we do here at Sterling Channel 19.
What is the most memorable game or event that you covered at Sterling?
There's a lot. I wouldn't say I have one pinpoint game.
When Wiggles said, "Honey, I'm home," whenever that was, I think it was a Sterling Haddonfield, and I was on the call for that one. That was a really special moment.
They really did. Tummings gonna give it a Montgomery, slams it home!
You got games like Middle Township versus Sterling. It was just so tense, and even though we lost, it was still the most fun that I've ever had working behind the camera.
We had the Haddonfield playoff game on the road for boys basketball. That was a lot of fun.
Probably the boys basketball game versus Haddonfield in the semifinals last year.
It's not going to matter. Sterling has a date with the championship game on Tuesday.
I think my definitive answer will go with the Coaches Cup tournament game, the finals with girls soccer. My favorite call was easily Jordan Baker's game winner.
Here's the shot. And it's good! Jordan Baker has done it!
That's the penultimate of my Sterling play-by-play career.
The thing that I like about broadcasting so much is that every game is different. It's not like a classroom setting where you're teaching Unit 1 first semester, and then if you have the same class again, you're teaching Unit 1 again in second semester. Sports, every single night is different, every single game is different, every broadcast is different. There's never a perfect broadcast. There's always things that go wrong, but every now and again you have a really, really good broadcast.
All right, today we are setting up for the basketball game versus Gloucester, I think. Douglas. As you see, we're getting all the cameras ready and we're about to go out, so let's go. It takes about usually 30 minutes to set up for a live production, give or take. We have an early game today. It's at 4, usually it's somewhere around 5:30, so we're on a bit of a time crunch today. So right here in between the features, we have the announcer set up as well as camera 6. Up there, we got camera 4. Right there, we got camera 5. You can see under that basket right there. Over that basket right there, we have our first basket camera. Those cameras are all hooked up to a truck for Ethernet cables. The rest of the cables are either fiber optics or analog. And all those cables run straight through here and go out through that hole in the wall to the truck. All right, we're on camera 4 here. This is an analog camera. This is one of our older reels. So basically, this thing has all the inputs we need for all the camera's wires. We got SDI, then we got private audio line, and then the audio line that would go into the truck if we had a microphone on this camera. This is what carries the video feed. We have our headset. This one plugs into red. The final thing is power. Just plug it all in. And we are online. All right, we are outside now. It's very cold. Here we have Sterling Channel 19's very own television production truck. So let's get inside. So over here you have, this is the replay device. This allows us to go back for the game and pull up clips for the broadcast. Here we have just some of the monitors that are used for this gigantic thing. This is the new tech TriCaster. This thing is what allows us to switch between cameras, bring up different video feeds. This thing is essentially what Mr. K over here uses to get the live production done. Over here we have Mr. K working on the graphics computer. Over here you have the main audio board. And then as for the rest of the TV truck, we just have storage for most of our equipment. Usually this area, just in general, is where the cameras are stored. The truck allows us to bring all of our equipment anywhere. We have utilities, more power cables, and then for K, we got the heater and the fan, some of the most essential equipment to being able to survive in this truck. Other than that, that is essentially all this truck has to offer. So yeah.
Every year is a challenge, and every graduating class brings more challenges to what we're doing.
We tried to get students on board, but hadn't had a lot of luck in doing that until now. Mr. Strauss and I started doing the games, mainly basketball. We started with basketball. That was like in '08. Then it gradually went to doing some spring sports, and then we did the football game.
I always miss it, but I don't think I'd be doing the right thing by barging into a broadcast and kicking anybody that wants to get on the air, because that's why I'm here. I'm a sports broadcasting teacher. I want you to get on the air. And it's your senior year. You're trying to build up your resume and get as much experience as you can before you leave here so that you have a leg up on the competition in college. It's great to sit back and listen to you guys. There's gonna be a time for me to come back and do it. Of course, do I miss calling double overtime games or game-winning goals? Yeah, sure, I miss that. I think of the opportunity for what it would be like for a high school junior or senior to call that. That trumps whatever I would do.
The program is basically twofold. It's to get you guys to have experience, but it's also to acknowledge what the athletes are doing and give them their due.
It always seemed like we had one or two members that were really, really good, like the Andrew Canes of the world. Frank McClosey was a really, really good announcer for us. We had good announcers and we had good tech crew members, but this team that we have now is so cohesive. They all get together and they all hang out together and they're all friends outside of the Channel 19 studios. That lends itself to making a better broadcast.
These are people that I could see being friends with for the rest of my life.
The people that work here at Channel 19, we do everything together. Sometimes when we shoot things like the nightlife segment, I saw Ben and Brian and Matt and Strauss and Dan more than I saw my own family at times.
I mean, those are my guys. I know they're my ride or dies. They're some of my best friends and will be my best friends for a pretty long time. It's a shame that they're all going next year and I'm stuck behind in Sterling, but I mean, I've had an amazing time, and it's just grown us closer. I mean, the people that I've been with in Tech Crew have been the closest guys I've been with throughout my high school career, and it means a lot that they're still with me.
As I was able to get into media a bit more, I kind of started to get a feel of what the industry is like. I've definitely matured a lot more as a person, really get out of my comfort zone when it comes to going up to people and talking to them, asking them questions. It definitely helps with my people skills going later into life when I want to get in the industry I want to get into.
It's tough to adjust at times, but you just grow with the people around you. You guys all learn together. You guys are all doing the same thing, having the same experiences, and having a good time together. And it's always about fun.
It's got me involved in a wider variety of sports and activities outside of school. I did not know anything about football or basketball or lacrosse until I started doing Tech Crew.
It essentially was able to get me out of my shell. I met so many new people. On top of it all, I found what I love to do, and I found something that I could do for the rest of my life. And that, to me, is the most important thing.
What's one thing you'll miss most about working for Sterling Channel 19?
Everything.
The money.
The guys, Mr. K, Schulze, Mr. Strauss, they've all been such mentors to me, and even my older friends have been such mentors to me. I got one more year left, but I'm gonna miss so much about it.
Getting to be involved in the school and actually get out and hang out with some people that I don't normally see every day.
The people. I mean, the people are great, and I think that we really are going to miss one another when we kind of have to split because we're all going to go our separate ways for college or whatever we decide to do. But I'll always have a special place in my heart for the 4 years that I had here to work for Sterling Channel 19.
I've always sort of had a thought in the back of my head that this might be the last time I'll ever get to work on a production like this, because it's so intimate in a way where you know everyone, you know the players, you know everyone on your team, you know the people who run the school, you know the people who clean up after the game's over. This will be the last time that I really feel like I'll get to work on something like that, where there's not that separation between the crowd and the production company and the athletes. I have friends in every single one of those crowds. Hell, this might be the last time I work on something like this, period, because you never know what happens in life. You aren't promised tomorrow. I'm not promised a job like this in the future. This is the last time I'll basically have a free trial on what I want to do.
I love the away broadcasts. The away, like when we go down to Lower Cape May or Pemberton or wherever we wind up going, sometimes the road trip is fun too. Just having the conversations about sports and life and just general stuff in the car, going out to eat afterwards or before, picking up Taco Bell or, you know, wherever you guys wind up going. It's just all part of the adventure. Sometimes the adventure is better than the game itself.
I do think that this Tech Crew will have a legacy because of how much we have done. We've covered so many big games and we've won so many awards that I do think it will leave a legacy on the school. And I'm doing my best to make sure that we do leave a positive legacy on the school for years to come, for more people to come and join the Tech Crew.
I think it's already kind of built a legacy. A lot of people have told us that we're one of, if not the best, that Sterling has ever had. So, I mean, it's great to hear all the compliments and the appreciation that we get, both from people around the school and from obviously bigger things like the Emmys and all that. Freshmen that come in next year might hear my voice on a broadcast and might be like, you know what, I think that's what I want to do with my life. And I think that's how I want to be remembered. I want to be remembered as someone who can help other people who may not know what they want to do. Someone people look at when they're like, I want to do that when I grow up, or I want to do that as a career.
We will. I will make it my all next year to make sure that I continue this legacy. And I think we're going to be known as one of the best Tech Crews to ever touch South Jersey.
I think for as long as Kay is here, we'll have a legacy. He seems to really take pride in what students have been able to do here. When this Tech Crew is all said and done, there's going to be people that go far above and beyond at different places, and I think that he's really going to be proud to have taught every single one of us, and I think that as a group we can go out as individuals and do great things. talk about how you started and founded this program here at Sterling High School with Mr. Farr.
When I got to college, I was health and physical education instructor, but I also worked at the college radio station, worked in cable TV, on the air and behind the scenes. I spent 10 years working cable TV, announcing games on TV, producing and directing games on TV, as well as minor league sports and college sports. When I started teaching in Gloucester City, I got a call from Mr. Farr saying, we're losing the person that does the Channel 19 here. Would you be interested? I said, yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. Came in for an interview, found out what we had in the program here, and we didn't have a lot at the time. I have to come up with a budget based on realistic things that we can get here at Sterling High School. And that was 20 years ago, that was 2005. We had to figure out what equipment to buy, what cameras, and then I hoped on getting a TV truck. At the time, we did not have a TV truck. We had to hand carry everything that we did out to the site. For me as a teacher, there's two different things. I've always had my teaching room is my teaching room. I might be a little bit harder in the teaching room. We're doing things that the state of New Jersey needs us to do, things we need to do to learn how to do the craft of television production and editing. Tech crew, I've kind of done it the way I've done it professionally, when I either led a crew professionally or worked with a crew. A lot more easygoing, a lot more friendly. People know what to do. Once we got through that first couple months with this group of showing them what to do, learning how to work with the equipment, learning how to set it up, now I can just say, you three set this up, you guys do that, you guys do that. I don't get to do that a lot, which has been very nice for me. These kids are great. They pick it up right away. They know where to go, what to do, how to set it up, how to broadcast. It's been a lot of fun to work with. Something this is going to be interesting for me to see is where this group of kids goes in their future. I think most of them have the ability to do something in this field. It's just a matter of, can they stay with it? Can they get the right opportunity? I know these kids can do the job, whether it be technically or on the air. Very good. It's just a matter of getting that first start. So it's going to be fun for me 5 and 10 years from now to see where these kids end up and how they stack up against other students and other people in their profession. I mean, to me right now, this is the best well-rounded group from on the air and technical that I've had here in my 20 years. Again, I've had little pockets here and there. This group is very good in all phases of the broadcasting that we do. And the fact that, again, I can have them go on their own and do other things, and they're highly motivated on their own to do other things. So as far as I'm concerned, they've already created a name for themselves.
I hope at the end of the day that when we're remembered, and I'm sure we will at this point, I hope what is left behind is that same sort of passion, that same drive to be better, be something more than what is given to you. Because if you take any amount of time to put some life into something, you'll see that it becomes better and better over time. And that's something that I feel like I've done for this group of people, and I hope that just continues. This shouldn't be the end or the peak. This shouldn't be like the best we'll ever be. This should just be the best we've been so far.
If there's one thing you wish this tech crew had, what would it be and why?
More time together. I think that the 4 years have just flown by, and to think that right now, as we're filming this, the semester's almost over. I'm gonna have one more semester left of high school. It's the cliche thing to say is like, you only do high school once, make the most of it. It's really true. I mean, it feels like just yesterday I was sitting in 201 with Johnny Wiggles going over what we were gonna talk about for the games in my sophomore year, and now I'm sitting here and I only have a couple more broadcasts left, and that's a scary thing, but it's also, it's kind of an encouraging thing knowing that these are the last moments and we're gonna make some great memories and we're gonna go out and do great things out in the world after we graduate from here.
Never be afraid to be great.
Yeah, you know, we're just not afraid to be great here at Sterling Channel 19, and that's one of the things that I love about working here.